Blessings and shalom to everybody out there. This is Dr. Keith Ben Israel. Welcome to um, all right. We're going to be in Revelation, the ninth chapter tonight. Again, Revelation, the ninth chapter on tonight. That's where we're going to be at. Um, Eschatology, the teaching of the end, teaching of prophecies of the end, the fulfillment of prophecies. That is what the word eschatology means. There's a lot of people out there that are eschatologians. Um, get a little tongue tied with that pronunciation, but there's a lot of people out there that are experts on the field of the end. They come in and that's all they talk about. Now, it's my belief that we, as a body of Messiah that are so called civilized and supposedly meaning a lot of sense, we're supposed to mean a lot of sense. We should have a desire and a hunger for what is relevant in the end as to what the Most High is telling us and teaching us through the spirit realm. That's my belief. But there are a lot of people that don't agree with me. And there's a lot of people out here that are teaching everything opposite of that. And they're teaching basic fundamentals when it comes down to the spirit of Christ or the spirit of Mashiach. And that's where we're having a conflict because nobody is teaching relevant things. They're teaching things of the past. So hopefully those of you that follow me and follow my ministry will be informed into the present things of the now and into the future. I pray that that's the case. So we're going to go again to Revelation, the ninth chapter. One of the some of the keys to Revelation, the ninth chapter, excuse me, Revelation ninth chapter. Some of the keys to this chapter are tribulation, judgments, 200 million horsemen, the 200 million horsemen army, and the world religions, along with the eternal hell. Let me go over that again. Revelation, the ninth chapter. The keys to this chapter are tribulation judgments, the 200 million horsemen army that's spoken about here in Revelation, the ninth chapter, and the world religions, along with the eternal hell. These are the overview parts that we're going to be getting from Revelation, the ninth chapter, that anyone should get from Revelation, the ninth chapter. Okay. So let's get started. Let's not waste any time. Let's get started into our tumultuous teaching tonight. Revelation, the ninth chapter, we're going to start at verse number 1. Verse number 1 says, Then the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven to the earth. And to him was given the key to the bottomless pit. Now, the star that is falling or descending from heaven is an angel because a key was given to him. Now, this angel is an angel of Yahuwah because a fallen angel would not be in possession of the key to the abyss. Now, if it was a fallen angel, he would have already released the demons bound in the pit long before it was their time to participate in the events on the earth. Now, the abyss, or the bottomless pit, if you will, is to believe to be one of many corridors leading to hell that is in the center of the earth. Now, this is the dwelling place or prison, if you will, supposedly for Satan or Hasatan. And it's also the prison for the fallen angels and the demons during the millennium time frame. Let me say that again. Hell, as we call it, is the dwelling place or the prison that was made for Hasatan, Satan, the fallen angels, and the demons during the millennium. Now, the netherworld, I know some people have heard that phrase before. There actually is a netherworld, people. It's not a make-believe thing. And I'm getting ready to explain to you who and what the netherworld is. The components of the netherworld are number one, okay, Tartarus. That's spelled Tartarus. Tartarus. Some people say Tartarus. Some people say Taurus. But it's in my tongue. If I was going to pronounce it, it would be Tartarus. Now, Tartarus is a special prison for angels that left their first estate before the flood. Okay, we're talking about before the flood during the time of Noah. That's what Tartarus is, a special prison that is for the angels that left their first estate before the flood. Some people like to call those particular angels or entities, they like to call them the Watchers. That's another name that people like to use. They call them the Watchers. Number two, the number two component of the netherworld, Sheol. Sheol or Hades. Sheol is spelled Sheol. Hades is spelled Hades. Sheol or Hades. Two compartments, okay? Two compartments. Torments, hell, a place of torment for the souls of unbelievers awaiting their resurrection at the great white throne judgment. That is what hell is. Hell is a place of torment for the souls of unbelievers awaiting their resurrection at the great white throne judgment. Okay? That should explain to people exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about the bottomless pit. That's found there in verse number 1 in chapter number 9. Then you have the other component, which is called paradise. The other component, which is called paradise. What is paradise? Paradise is the abode for the righteous dead until Mashiach, Christ, has conquered death, hell, and the grave. This compartment is now empty. It was also called Abraham's bosom. That's what paradise is. Let me give you that definition again. Paradise is the abode, or was the abode, for the righteous dead until Christ, Mashiach, conquered death, hell, and the grave. This compartment is now empty. It was also called Abraham's bosom. Abraham's bosom. The third component of the netherworld is called the abyss, or simply put, the bottomless pit. The abyss, which is also known as the bottomless pit. Now, that is an abode that some demons and fallen angels have come to. The bottomless pit is an abode for some demons and fallen angels. We're going to get this defined tonight. Okay. Now, the fourth and final component of the netherworld is the lake of fire, or as we say in the Hebrew tongue, Gehenna. The lake of fire, or Gehenna. Gehenna is spelled Gehenna. Gehenna. The eternal hell, or final abode for the unrighteous of all time after the white throne judgment. Okay. Demons, fallen angels, Hasatan, Satan himself, the Antichrist, and the false prophet will also inhabit the lake of fire for eternity. So the lake of fire is the final judgment, the final place of residence for all people that have defied Yahuwah and the spirit of Yahuwah, the set apart spirit that is holy, the final place of residence for those individuals, the final place of residence for these individuals. The lake of fire is an eternal fire, so it never ends. This is not a fire that can be put out. This is not a fire that can be compared or anything like that. This is a fire that will continue to burn and burn frivolously, with no remorse or anything like that. Okay, let's go to verse number 2 in chapter number 9. Verse number 2 in chapter number 9. See, this is what you get when you take your time and teach, and when you take your time to observe. From that one verse, we got all of that. So now we're getting ready to continue to keep on pushing and get a little bit more as we go. Verse number 2 in chapter number 9 here in the book of Revelation. And it reads, "And he opened the bottomless pit, and smoke arose out of the pit like the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened because of the smoke of the pit." Now the angel opens the bottomless pit to release the inhabitants. That's what he's doing. He's releasing the inhabitants of the bottomless pit. Okay. Great masses of smoke escape from this pit. Great masses of smoke escape from this pit, and the sky, and to darken the sky, indicating that the abyss is a place of fire and flame. The significance of that is that the bottomless pit is a place that you don't want to go, because it's not a place of comfort. That is why I question the validity of people that say they have been to hell. There are a lot of books out right now that give an account of an individual going to hell. It's very hard for me to believe that someone can even talk about that, considering what is there in the bottomless pit. Let's go to verse number 3. We're in Revelation, the 9th chapter, and we're at verse number 3. Verse number 3 reads like this: Then out of smoke locusts came upon the earth, and to them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. Now locusts emerging from the abyss. I want you guys to get this in your mind. Locusts that emerge from the pit. This is a very interesting synopsis. They are not they are not ordinary locusts, but demon locusts. As will be seen, these demon locusts respond to the commands unlike natural locusts. They have a king, and natural locusts do not have a king, according to the book of Proverbs. Now, natural locusts do not inhabit the bottomless pit and do not have the power to harm people as these locusts do. Now, these locusts are able to recognize the mark of God or the seal of God on the foreheads of the 144,000 evangelists or Hebrew like, which would not be possible from natural locusts. Additionally, these locusts are not mutant locusts or men in gas masks, or some commentaries as they would identify them. This event is a demonic invasion of the planet, a demonic invasion of the planet. Something that a lot of people are not cohesive to, because we've been teaching people about folks living in other galaxies and other planets. All this is just demonic forces from other dimensions that are not visible dimensions from the human eye that have come into play. Oh, come on, somebody. This is the reason why the book of Revelation is not a book that most pastors like to teach from, because the explanation itself is something to teach that they don't want to be taught. Let's go to verse number 4. Verse number 4 in Revelation, the 9th chapter, it says, "And they were commanded not to harm the grass of the earth or any green thing or any tree, but only those men who do not have the seal of Yahuwah on their foreheads." Now, the demon locusts are commanded not to harm any green thing, such as grass and trees, which are the very items that the natural locust would devour. So this proves that these locusts are not normal in their standpoint of view or in their stature. Additionally, they can only harm those men without the mark or the seal of Yahuwah on their foreheads. Why is this so? Because we're talking about an end time reformation where destruction will be the key. Anything that comes in the path of Satan and his imps, they are predestined to destroy, to annihilate, and disrespect. But those that have the seal of Yahuwah will not be disrespected, nor will they be destroyed. So if I was you, just by listening to that right there, I would hurry up and get on board with the kingdom of Yahuwah, because there seems to be some privileges and perks that come with those that have the seal of Yahuwah, which is found in Revelation, the 7th chapter. It talks about the mark and the seal of Yahuwah. Those that have been marked with this seal shall endure great suffering and pain, but they will reign with him. Hello, somebody. Verse number 5. Verse number 5 in chapter number 9. "And they were not given authority to kill them, but to torment them for 5 months. And their torment was like the torment of a scorpion when it strikes a man." Now, the demon locusts can torment men without the mark of Yahuwah on their foreheads, but they are not allowed to kill anyone. The question is whether this total plague lasts 5 months, or the torment to each individual stung is for the 5 months, which could extend the length of the plague to 10 months. We don't know exactly which direction we're looking here through Revelation. Now, the prevalent interpretation is that the plagues last 5 months, and hence a person stung could be tormented for up to 5 months. Now, these are spirit beings, demons, inflicting physical pain or unrepent, which is to on the unrepented mankind. Now, while the scorpion's sting can set a human nervous system on fire for several days, the tormenting stung from these demons locusts may last up to 5 months. So that lets us know that we're not dealing with a natural situation. We're dealing with a supernatural torturing, if you will, a supernatural torturing. So we are seeing this every day uh, as we walk upon the earth with the people that we're dealing with. We're seeing a tremendous supernatural torturing, if you will. We're so silly as to think that the things that are happening in the earth realm right now are all natural. There is nothing natural about what you see or what you feel is going on in this realm right now. There's nothing natural about this. Everything that is happening and everything that we see happening may be happening in the physical realm where we can see it, but supernaturally there is a nasty sting that comes with this. Let's go to the 6th verse, Revelation 9th chapter and the 6th verse. In those days, men will seek death and will not find it. They will desire to die, and death will flee for them. This is so deep right here, y'all. As a result of the scorpion-like sting, men seek death, but are unable to die. Death takes a holiday from the term of this plague. This implies that man are not even able to commit suicide, for their spirits will not leave their bodies. The torment of this a circumstance is incredible. It is incredible. This is how you know that we are going to be in the time of tribulation and the time of the end, when this one occurrence comes about and you cannot run from it. You're going to want to die, but you can't die. See, one thing that you don't realize, people, is that death is a glorious circumstance and situation. Death brings us to new life. It is through the shedding of the blood and the death of Mashiach, of Christ, that led us to life. We're coming to a time where you're not going to be allowed to die. You're going to have to live in your sin. You're going to have to live in the consequences of what you have started. You're going to have to live knowing that you have guilt all over you. The blood shall be upon your hands. Oh, I'm talking some real talk. I'm going to read verses 7 through 10. I'm going to go ahead and read verses 7 through 10 so we can get a better understanding here. In Revelation, the 9th chapter, I'm at verses 7, and I'm going to be going to 10. And the shape of the locust was like horses prepared for battle, and on their heads were crowns of something like gold, and their faces were like the faces of men. They had hair like women's hair, and their teeth were like lions' teeth. And they had breastplates like breastplates of iron. And the sound was like the sound of chariots with many horses running into battle. They had tails like scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was like to hurt men for 5 months. Now, the description of the demon locust shows us a fearsome appearance similar to the description of the locust that you can find in Joel, the 2nd chapter. This is very similar to that. Now, John is not describing the appearance of natural locusts or insects, but demons. They are described as ferocious, destructive, difficult to destroy. They have breastplates and existing in large numbers. Ah, my goodness, y'all. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying here. The description of these demonic forces is so mighty and so ferocious that if you have not gotten it right and you have not come to the realness and the oneness of Mashiach, of Christ, of dedicating your life to him, then hopefully tonight we can scare the piss out of you so that you can get it right. You won't be faking no more because, see, there's a trick for all you people that fake and play games. And this is the equation because it ain't going to be no game when these supernatural beings are stinging your behind. Do you hear what I'm saying? Let's go to verse number 11. Verse number 11. And they had a king over them, the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew is Abnon, but in Greek, his name was Apollyon. Oh, we about to get technical now. Let me read that one verse again. And they had a king over them, and the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew is Abnon, or some people say Abandon. Either way go, Abnon, Abandon. But in the Greek, his name was Apollyon. Now the king over the demon locust, Abnon or Abandon, which means destruction in Hebrew, or Apollyon, which means destroyer in the Greek. This king is not Satan, and it is not the Antichrist or Anti-Messiah, because they are not occupying or bound in the pit at this time. Y'all better hear what I'm saying. They have been allowed to come into the atmosphere. So Satan is not their king, neither is the anti-Messiah. They have a designated king that has been quoted as like a general, a subdivision leader, if you will. Oh, this is all real. This is not a science fiction flick we're talking about. We're walking into the book of Revelation. There are legions of demonic forces that have allegiance between each other, and they have, guess what? Order. They have order. Verse number 12. Let's go to verse number 12. One woe is past. Behold, still two more woes are coming after these things. Now, people were warned of three woes to come in Revelation, the 8th chapter and the 13th verse. There was three woes that were sounded off for us to watch out for. Now, one of those woes is completed, and there are two more woes left. It says woe prophetically. The word woe prophetically implies doom. Anywhere in the Bible where you hear it say woe, that means doom. There ain't no repenting to that. There is no building back up once you hear a woe. That is utterly, literally doom. Oh yeah, I'm getting y'all messed up now. Verse number 13. Verse number 13. Then the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before Yahuwah, before God. Now, the second woe is the sixth trumpet judgment. The voice from the altar in heaven is God, is Yahuwah, the Father, or the Son, but which one is not specified. It's either the Father, Yahuwah, or Yahusha, the Son. We don't know exactly which one. It's not really specified. Now, the altar in heaven is the pattern for the earthly tabernacle. The altar in heaven is the pattern for the earthly tabernacle. Now, as we find out, or we have found out, those of you that have studied the word extensively, we know the tabernacle is a representation of us being the church. Mhm. I can't stress this enough, how we need to take these types of circumstances and and instances a lot more seriously, because that means that we are the church that he's coming for, without spot or wrinkle. We are that church. Let's go to verse number 14. Verse number 14, saying to the sixth angel who had the trumpet, release the four angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates. Now, the angels bound at the great river Euphrates are fallen angels. They're fallen angels, because good angels, they're not bound, people. Good angels are not bound. There is no introduction as to why these four have been bound. The angels that left their first estate when they married the daughters of men in Genesis 6 are bound in the chains of darkness. Come on now. The fallen angels that mix with human beings to create another race. This is part of their punishment. Now, whether these four are part uh, uh, whichever group, we don't know that. Now, it's not really known totally about that, but we spiritually and emphatically have interjected this through the revelation of spirit. Now, Bible scholars have speculated that the four bound angels are the satanic princes from Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome. Now, they were the spiritual forces behind these great empires as they persecuted Israel. Now, the beast empire, which is the eighth empire, and in this seclusion of number, will be the representation of these previous empires. The Euphrates River has held a significant place in the plan of Yahuwah. It was a boundary to the Garden of Eden, a boundary to Israel, and a boundary to Kemet, which is also known as Egypt. A boundary to the Persian Empire, and to the Tower of Babel, who was near the Euphrates River, as well as Babylon. It has been hypothesized that there are 12 vorticles, or openings, if you will, on the earth that lead into the shafts that extend into Sheol, or Hades, if you will. One of these vorticles is at the Euphrates rivers. Now, other of the vorticles are over the poles that seek into that land, which is in the Devil's Sea, and what we call the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle. Oh, yeah. So, see, now I'm getting into some theory teaching along with some geographical scientific teaching. Never let anybody tell you that the spirit does not coincide with science, because everything scientific started in the spirit and manifested itself to science or scientific theory. Oh my, verse number 15. I'm not going to flood y'all minds tonight. I ain't going to flood your minds, because I've already given you some information tonight that's going to really mess you up and tear you apart. In verse number 15, in chapter number 9, it says, so the four angels who had been prepared for the hour and day and month of the year were released to kill a third of mankind. Now, by reference to the hour, day, month, and year, these four angels have been prepared for a fixed point in time in Yahuwah's plan. While this interpretation is the preferred one, another interpretation is worthy to comment on. Okay? This plague, the six trumpets or judgments, continues for 13 months and 25 hours. We're talking about hour, day, month, and year. These four evil angels are released to kill 1/3 of mankind. At the current population level, when you look at the accumulation of the earth, you're looking at over 1.225 billion people that could be killed under this plague. Man, y'all are not getting the picture, are you? 1.25 billion people could be killed under this plague. Okay, and that's a sealed judgment, leaving 3.75 billion inhabitants on the planet. Now, another 1/3 of mankind, or 1.25 billion people, are killed under this judgment, further reducing the Earth's population to 2.5 billion, with the Battle of Armageddon and the bowl judgments yet to come. Although this plague could be applied globally, it is more likely that the greater impact of this plague will be on the Euphrates region, the Middle East, if you will, Central Asia, or Northeast Africa. Either application can be supported by this passage. So you guys don't realize that the coronavirus is not even the biggest plague that we have to worry about. Not demonically, anyway. Now, some things have been brought upon because of the natural motions of man, but demonically, hello, somebody, demonically, you're looking at an opening of another plague that shall take out 1/3 of the earth because of the freedom that will be given to Hasatan, to Satan in this time, to cause war with man. And then all of a sudden, there's going to have to be an allegiance, an alliance that comes forth. I don't know how far we're going to go tonight, but I'm going to take it to verse number 16. Verse number 16 says that now the number of the army of the horsemen was 200 million. And I heard the number of them. Now, the army of the horsemen is predicted or estimated to be 200 million. Each fallen angel leads an army of 50 million. 50 million demon horsemen to kill 1/3 of mankind. There's several commentaries, there's several scholars out there that see this army as the Red Chinese Army. Why? Because the Chinese have the sufficient population to field an army of this magnitude. However, these are not natural or ordinary men by any means of description. They just appear on the scene, indicating that they probably were bound in the same location as the fallen angels. Furthermore, The Red Chinese are not involved on the political scene at this point in the tribulation. Activity from the kings of the east doesn't occur until the sixth bowl judgment, just prior to the second coming of Christ at the battle of Armageddon. I know this is deep for y'all tonight, but this is some stuff that y'all need to get through your heads, because we're seeing a lot of conspiracy theories out here about the circumstances and situations that are happening in the world governments, and I need to bring y'all to the knowledge of what's really going on, so that you can follow the script and not some false prophet's words. We got way too many false prophets out here telling people information that's not in the book. Hello, somebody. Follow the book. And if you follow the book, you'll see more than enough. Verse number 17. And thus I saw the horses in the vision. Those who sat on them had breastplates, a fiery red, Hykenoth blue, and sulfur yellow. And the heads of the horses were like the heads of lions. And out of their mouths came fire, smoke, and brimstone. Now, this description shows us, or shows destruction and ferocity. The fire, smoke, and brimstone are the elements of hell, and they themselves are plagues. The descriptions is not of natural horses, giving further support to a vision of a demonic army. See, everybody want to be in conspiracy theory and they want to figure things out. I just gave you some facts here. This is a demonic army spitting out the smoke and the sulfur of hell. I guess I'll go to verse number 18. I hope ain't nobody getting shaky and scared. I hope ain't nobody ready to run. Verse number 18. By these three plagues, a third of mankind was killed, by the fire and the smoke and the brimstone which came out of their mouths. Now, one third of mankind is killed by these three plagues: fire, smoke, and brimstone. The three plagues: fire, smoke, and brimstone. Those are the three plagues, people. Now, the locusts of the fifth plague tormented, but these demons kill. These particular demons kill. The locusts didn't kill, but these demonic forces with the horses, they killed. Those killed are the unrepentant. People that have not repented are the ones that are killed. The result of the fourth seal and the fifth trumpet judgment is the death of one half of mankind remaining after tribulation, or at least 2.5 billion people at the current population level. How do I get these numbers? I get these numbers from the guesstimation of the population that is already on Earth. And they say you can't be smarter than a fifth grader. Hello, somebody. Verse number 19. I guess we're going to go up to 20 tonight. Verse number 19. For the power is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails are like serpents having heads, and with them they do harm. A serpent-like tail is the reference that these armies are demonic. We've been telling people for the longest that we need to watch out for human beings. It is not human beings that will destroy human beings. It is demonic forces that have come to go to war with mankind. So when we say we're at war, we cannot, under any circumstances, be at war with other humans and consider that to be the end. Because it's not. The end shall come when man fights against demon. Why? because the fallen angels, now that they're going to be released into the atmosphere after being bound so many years, are jealous of the creation of man, because man was created in the image of Yahuwah. So the war is between demonic forces and mankind. Somebody don't like me tonight. Y'all fighting amongst each other. That is not the plan. Y'all did not purpose for man to fight man. That was not the plan. But we've messed up the plan because we've allowed Hasatan, Satan, to poison our minds to hate our brother and sister. And because of that, the consequences are the great white throne judgment, when those that have not repented shall be destroyed and cast into the lake of fire. Oh, do I want to go to verse 21 yet? Let me see. Let's see. Let's see. Do we want to go? We can do that because we're almost done. Let's go to verse number 20. It says, "But to the rest of mankind who were not killed by these plagues, did not repent of the works of their hands, that they should not worship demons and the idols of gold, silver, brass, stone, wood, which could neither see nor walk." Now, the rest of mankind that was not killed by these demons still don't have to repent because they are with him. They witness Yahuwah's judgment and the omnipotence, as Pharaoh did with the children of Israel, but continue in their sinful ways, worshiping demons and idols that cannot speak. In Revelation, the 13th chapter, it will be seen that idols of the image of this beast do not speak. Let's go to verse 21, and then we're going to wrap it up from there. Verse 21, it says, "And they do not repent of their murderers, of their sorcerers, or their sexual immorality, or their theft." Now, in addition to repenting of the worship of demons and idols, mankind does not repent of their murderers, sorcerers, sexual immoralities, and thefts. After the seven seal judgments and the six trumpet judgments, the earth stands fast in sin, and the sin without apparent restraint. These moral conditions are in evidence in the world today and will continue to increase up until the time of the anti-Messiah and into the next tribulation period. The moral decay is a sign of the end times. Murders are more common today, and life in many cultures is a limited value. Sorcerers include the occult, astrology, witchcraft, idolatry, and drugs. Sexual immorality includes all types of sexual sins, devoid of any religious restraint, and the complete sexual freedom of every form of perversion are the current way of life as we know it. Of course, accompanying this free lifestyle are all the forms of sexually transmitted diseases. Theft includes all forms of lawlessness, crime, and corruption. Law and order will completely break down. The only authority at this time will be the anti-Messiah. That's going to be the only authority. Y'all ain't going to tell me for one red minute that we are not seeing Revelation, the 9th chapter, unfold itself right before us. Oh, I get excited. I get excited because we are actually seeing the evidence of the prophecies of the book of Revelation unfolding. Now, who you going to believe? You going to believe the book, the prophecies of the book, or are you going to listen to a bunch of Facebook prophets that don't know what the hell they talking about? They can't stand by and prove nothing by scripture. Oh, I better talk real deep about that, because some of y'all getting way too much revelation. Some of y'all are seeing too many things. You're having way too many dreams. Oh yeah, I'm going to go there with you. You don't become spiritual all of a sudden. Okay. The Bible's been telling us this stuff for God knows how long, and all of a sudden we become deep and spiritual. You need to shut it down with your phony self and get real. Okay? You need to shut it down and get real and understand that the prophecies of the book of Revelation, the book of Daniel, the book of Ezekiel, the book of Enoch, they are now coming to full tuition in this hour. Tomorrow I'm going to go to Revelation, the 10th chapter. I'm going to go to Revelation, the 10th chapter on tomorrow and talk to you guys about the little open book. That's what we call Revelation, the 10th chapter. We call it the little open book. There is not only are there miracles manifesting themselves, but we are seeing the turn of the century. Oh, y'all want to learn more about him? Be careful what you ask for. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, Dr. Kiefer, we want to get deeper into the things of him. Be careful what you ask for, because you just might not like it. I'm telling you, because we are seeing the manifestation of this reality. We are in the middle of a battle for the souls of the people. I don't know if Joe Biden received a revelation from the Most High, but his slogan when he was his candidacy for president, he said, "We're fighting for the soul of America." Woo, Lord have mercy. Somebody must have came to him in a dream and told him that we are in a battle for the essence, for the pure essence of the soul of the saints. Somebody must have told him that we are in a demonic stronghold. Let me tell y'all something tonight. Think it not strange of the things that we are seeing, because this is just a test of our faith, a test to see if we can hold on just a little while longer. Because if we allow the book to walk its presence and go its course, we are going to see the infallible word of truth become spirit. It manifests itself on paper, on a book, but now it shall evolve itself into spirit form and the manifestation of these prophecies. Hello, somebody. Take these prophecies. I don't care if everything I read tonight and everything I'm going to be reading to you guys, you're a little confused at in the beginning, because it is some very trivial stuff. So yeah, you're not going to get it right off the bat. You see things about a horse and about locusts and things like that, but listen in the spirit. I implore you tonight and every night to listen in the spirit, because I'm one of the very few teachers that's going to give you explanation to this stuff. Some people ain't even going to read it to you because they want you to understand simple stuff like Jesus wept. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. And some people don't even understand the prophetic implications in that verse in John 3:16. It gives us a revelatory explanation of a purgatory that has not yet been manifested. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying here. Now I got to be the doctor with you. See, I done played around with you guys long enough, but now it's time to be the doctor. It's the time to be the scholar. It is time to impart the manifestation of wisdom into each and every one of you, because you're about to fight an intelligent devil. You're not going to be fighting an unintelligent devil. Satan has no use for things that are not plentiful, that don't produce fruit. So we're going to try our best to educate you spiritually and relatively give you revelational manifestation that will hold you for the eternity. Now that means that some people are going to hang in here with us. But then that also means that there's some people that are not going to hang in there with us, because their mind frame is probably no bigger than a pea. And because their mind frame is no bigger than a pea, they will not grasp the revelation of the Spirit, thus meaning that they don't want to grow any further than where they're at. So I need to let you know that there's going to be some that's going to stay with us and some that's going to fall off. Some are going to want the full manifestation of teaching, but some are going to want to try to be the spotlight of the teaching. Some have come with the intention to grow and to be edified, to become a soldier, but some have come just to watch. The Bible says it like this, and says it very, very strongly. They have come with a form of godliness, but they've denied the power. See, now we're at the crunch time, somebody. We're in 2021, to be exact, January 11th. And ever since last week, if you haven't noticed, we've gotten a little bit more intense in our teaching. And that's the way we're going to be, because I ain't got time to lose you on my watch because of silliness and pettiness. If we lose you, it's because of your ignorance. It won't be because you're not getting the right information. All the things that are happening, especially in the United States lately, there is a prophetic timetable. And I'm going to show you through the book the prophetic timetable, so you can stop listening to these conspiracy people and stop listening to this daggone political news and listen to the spiritual revelation of kingdom impartation, so that you can know where we're at right now. We are at the brink of the end, and there is a diabolical plan being set and waged. There's a war that's being waged for your soul. Oh, who am I talking to tonight? I hope I'm speaking to the world to let you know that there is an equation that must be manifested through these prophetic teachings. It may be confusing to some people and probably upending to them, but I'm here to tell you that the Most High has anointed me and appointed me in this hour to bring you straight through the revelatory action of reaction of the end. Listen, if you want to donate to this ministry, because the gospel is free of charge and my teaching is very reachable. But I'm here to tell you, in order to continue to do what we do, we still need your financial support to be able to continue that. Those of you that can, please sow into this ministry. Go to the Cash app, hit the $, type in Chief Apostle Kepha. Kepha is spelled Kepha. Type in Chief Apostle Kepha. There is no specific amount. There is no gimmick to this. Just sow what you can. Or you can go to PayPal, paypal.me, paypal.me / capital K, capital I, SREAL. Or if you don't have means to any of that, all you have to do is contact me by the means of communication that you have with me, and we will work out some way and some means of for you to be able to give into us, because we are not financed by any 501c3. We are not financed by any big benefactor. We are financed by those of you that love the gospel and love the teaching of the gospel, because now we are revealing the prophecies in the book. With that being said, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Tomorrow night, we will pick right back up on our teachings. We're going to be in Revelation, the 10th chapter tomorrow night, which is coin phrase, the little book. Revelation, the 10th chapter, which is coin phrase, the little book. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight, and thank you for your support, and thank you for all the different things that you do. And we look for you again tomorrow night for revelatory teaching. I am Chief Apostle Dr. Kifa Ben Israel. I appreciate you being here tonight and every night that you're here. You guys have a blessed rest of the evening. Shalom to you.